funny ice cream man. You suck.
You do suck.
Yeah.
Cybertron Weekly is your central hub for everything Transformers.
Hey guys, Ultramaximus back with another toy review, and today we're taking a look at another Transformers figure, and it's from the Titans Return. It's Scourge and Fracas. This was a figure I really wasn't expecting, much like Blur. We've just gotten a version of this character a few years back in the Generations line, which, I mean, yeah, sure, let's go ahead and do another one, I guess. You can't really have too many sweeps now, can you? And this actually looks pretty decent. I'm really digging the head sculpt off the top of the line here. I'm kind of questioning the ship, though. But let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So here we have Scourge in package, and there he is, and there it says alternate mode. It's the same that we've gotten in the other figures. It says Transformers, Generation. We've got the artwork up here. We've got Fracas launching off of Scourge's body here. Very cool artwork. I really do dig that. Came out really nice as Titans Return. Side of the package has the same artwork, so just kind of a close-up. Really cool digging that image very much in Generations. There he is. There's the alternate mode. It says Fracas and Scourge. And of course, there's the side package artwork. Here is the back of the packaging. And it's pretty similar to everything we've seen thus far. These heads are interchangeable throughout the entire line. It's got Skull Smasher, Galvatron, and Blaster. There is Scourge. Here's his head turning into Fracas. There he is turning into a ship. Again, a little blocky, but I don't know. I guess we'll take a look at it in hand. And then Fracas can actually fly him around. It does have a write-up here, which is interesting. It says that Fracas can absorb other bots' powers. Which is interesting. So if you want to pause and read that, you are more than welcome to. And that pretty much does it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and get Scourge out of box and see what we think. So here we have Scourge out of the package, and I'm actually much more impressed with this figure than I was with the Skull Smasher figure. I was actually expecting this to be my least favorite of the series, and he's actually pretty good. And when I sat back and looked at the old Generations version, I got a much greater appreciation for this Scourge. And I say that because I think the body and especially the head sculpt looks way more like the original Scourge that we got in Transformers the movie in Season 3 of Transformers. The wings are a little disappointing on this figure, but that head sculpt is way better than the old Generations version and is much more cartoon accurate. Now, just like the others, he comes with his little trading card. So there's his artwork, Titans Return, and then here's his little bio in the back. And I don't know, the numbers seem a little short to me. Seems like at least a couple things should be a little higher on here. Yeah, I don't know, it seems more like he's a sweep than he is Scourge the Tracker. Now, as far as articulation goes on the figure, it's pretty decent. He's got his head, which rotates around. The joint on this one's a little goofy. He's got the little scope piece on the top of his head, like Blur, that pops up, which is really cool. His arms do go all the way around, but the wings kind of hamper that. You can, if you wanted to, fold these back, but they just don't really supposed to do that. You're supposed to make them kind of wing-like. I wish they folded out and gave him a little bit more wingage. I think that'd be really cool. He's got a joint at the elbow. His hands are kind of loose. That's a bit disappointing, but they move back and forth mainly for transformation. There is no swivel because his hips actually come out during transformation. His knees go up that far. His legs move up really far. They move out pretty far as well if you get around the wings. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, so good knee joints. He's got tiny little feet. His back feet are actually pretty darn good. And there's actually a modification that's out there on the internet where you can take these legs off and reverse them to use the back parts of the legs as the actual legs, and then you take these blue panels completely off, and it gets rid of that that little kind of underhanging parts on the bottom of the figure in his shuttle mode or spaceship mode, which is kind of interesting. I'm not going to do that on this figure, but I don't know. I may pick another one up at some point and try it out and see how it looks. So taking a closer look at the figure itself, I love the metallic blue paint job it's got. I think the head sculpt on this guy is probably the best Scourge that we've gotten, and probably will be until we get a masterpiece figure. The paint apps on the chest look cool. I like the rounded arms. That looks really nice. He's got his wings. Not a big fan of the little fins back there. I like the paint decal here. Looks nice. There's no white. This is all light blue, which is very, very cool, unlike the Generations figure before. I wish the wings would spread out, though. Kind of fan out. That would have been really, really cool. Just got a little Decepticon logo there. But all in all, a great sculpt and wonderful paint job. So taking a look at the midsection of the figure, I'm a little disappointed in the hands. They're kind of loose on this figure. It's about the only thing that is loose on the figure, but I wish that they had a light blue paint job with the pink fingertips, kind of like what we got in the Generations version. He's got his weapon that the little headmaster unit can jump into to use as a bigger gun. I'll show that off more. Yeah, and then we got the wings. I like the detail on the wings. Again, I just wish they folded out. They just seem a little stubbed in for me. And the legs are pretty much just blue. You know, it is what it is. He does have a little bit of paint app on his waist, but that pearlescent blue, very pretty. So taking a look at the bottom of the figure, he's got these big bulky legs, and they're not too bad. I like the detail on his shins there. The metallic blue looks nice. His toes are a little small. You know, like I said, there's a modification where you can take those blue panels off and then spin these legs around. A lot of people are liking the back side of the legs. They think those look a little bit more appropriate. And yeah, those look more like toes than they do the back of the heels. Those are the front of the spaceship. But yeah, the legs do kind of look like they're backwards if you look at it from the side. But not too terribly bad. I'll go ahead and leave this figure the way it is. For comparison, here we have Scourge with the other deluxe figures from this wave, and if I had to rank them all, I would say that Skull Smasher is my least favorite. Then I would say it would go to Hardhead, then Scourge, and then I think Blur is actually the best out of the lot. And again, the whole point to this line is the little headmaster units, or type masters, whatever you want to call them. So I'm going to pop his head off and put them on some of his fellow bots. We'll have Skull Smasher. We'll pop him on here, see how he looks. Dink. So there is Skull Smasher's head on Scourge. It looks okay. It's not the greatest. Let's see how Blur ends up. Come here, Blur. On here. So there is Blur's head. Again, a little bit better fit. I think his head probably looks best on most other bots' bodies. Yeah, let's see. Let's try old Hardhead here. Which I see that getting repainted for Chrome Dome. I know they're making a Chrome Dome in Wave 2. I've seen it at San Diego Comic-Con. We're also getting an Astro Train from Sentinel Prime. That doesn't look too bad. Be pretty decent with a head paint job, a different head paint. And then let's try Scourge on Blur. Just for fun. That looks super weird. It's old Blur. Yeah, that just looks strange. But again, I like how we can flip these around and, you know, switch them from figure to figure, whether it's a deluxe, it's a leader class, the little legends, or one of these. Definitely very cool. I just like the idea of that play gimmick across the board. I think that is very cool, very similar to the Combiner Wars and the fact that they could all combine with anything. So yeah, there they are, all together and mixed up. Wave 1 of the Titan Return Deluxe figures. Alright, so transformation on this figure is not too terribly bad. You know, it is what it is. He turns into a little bar of soap spaceship thingy, which I do like. It goes back to the G1 roots, so very, very cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at that transformation. And there we had Scourge in his spaceship mode, and I always forget to fold the legs in. Now, mine unfortunately has a QC issue. If you look at it, come on. It doesn't line up quite right, and there's some overpaint of light blue. It's warped. The whole thing is warped and doesn't go together, which is unfortunate. I may have to get another one to make this a sweep. But overall, it's pretty decent looking. It looks a lot like the old G1 figure. These panels are really annoying. I don't like those. So those are the ones that they say take off. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's not too terribly bad. I like the canopy for this guy, for Fracas. If I can get this thing to pop up. There we go. So there's his little canopy that he can go into. So you can put Fracas in here. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Fracas. Get in there, right? Fracas. Quit being a frickus. Fracas. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Very neat. I like that a lot. Like the detail. Looks good. I don't know about these fins. Not too big of a fan of those, but I guess it's there. So yeah, overall, it's not too terribly bad. I'm going to pull Fracas back out here. And then he also has the play gimmick where he can mount into the gun. Oh, the one thing I like about Fracas, he's got a little bit more paint apps on him. He's got the light on the feet there. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, he can fit in here, and then you can have him use this as a great big old gun turret thingy, and then you can mount this here if you want, so that he can blow up some Autobots. Definitely pretty cool, if I can get it into focus. Doo-doo. So yeah, that looks pretty neat. I like that play gimmick a lot. And that goes across the entire line of figures, which I think is really, really cool. And then the other thing that you can do, put Fracas back in here, into the cockpit. And then you can put this little piece here. I like the little red dot. I think it looks pretty cool. And then you can take this and mount it right here for additional armament or weapon storage. So definitely pretty cool. You know, of the two modes, this is definitely the weaker mode, mainly because of the panels right here. Not too big of a fan of those panels there, and then mine's got a warped front end, which is unfortunate. That's just a QC, I'm sure, with that particular figure. But, you know, overall, I like it. I like how it doesn't have any white paint anywhere on it. It's all light blue, silver, and dark blue. Very, very cool. So is Scourge a figure that you want in your Transformers collection? I'm going to say yes. We've just gotten a Generations version of this character, you know, a few years back, and it's a neat looking figure. I like how it turned into the Stealth Bomber, but this is way more faithful to the G1 cartoon. I'm a big G1er. I think the head sculpt on this is far superior than the one we got on the previous version. And yeah, I don't know, all around I think this is a better figure, and you know, it'd be cool to get this guy and get 3 more so you have your Scourge and Sweeps set up. Very cool. The biggest problem I've got with the figure, two of them. The hands, I wish they had the pink fingernails on them, the fingertips, and maybe make them light blue. I could easily paint that myself. And then I wish that the wings would fold out. That's kind of a bummer for me. They're so stubby. That's not too terribly bad. And the panels that underhang under the spaceship are kind of a bummer. But there is a modification out there for it. Just go out there and look on the interwebs. You can definitely find it. So overall, this is probably my second favorite figure of the entire line. I was really surprised about that. I figured that this guy was going to be at the bottom of the heap for me. Turned out Blur was my favorite, the one I looked forward the most to. Skull Smasher was probably the worst of the line, which was very disappointing. But this was a nice surprise. I am just absolutely in love with the head sculpt on this guy. It looks so G1. It's awesome. So there he is, Scourge and Fracas from Titans Return.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And as always, look for more videos in the future.